Every person has a story, but not everyone has a place to tell it. I've interviewed amazing people all over the planet. I want you to meet them.
I'm Wyatt Mills, and I'm the most interesting person you've never heard of because I throw the ball sideways for the Boston Red Sox.
All right, well, Wyatt Mills, welcome to the most interesting person you've never heard of podcast. I can't believe you're here. This is a very rare opportunity. I'm a huge baseball fan, and you pitch for the Boston Red Sox. When I say that, what does that feel like to you when you actually go, I'm in the major leagues?
Oh, first off, thanks for having me. I feel like very honored to be here. But yeah, like we were just talking before this started. This is my job. I'm a player. I'm not so much a fan. So when I take time to step back away from my career and look on it, it's like I play for the Boston Red Sox. I mean, or the Mariners or the Royals or whatever. It's like
You're a Major League Baseball pitcher.
Holy smokes, people don't make it this far. I feel like I've really just put the blinders on and got to work and somehow got to where I am today. But yeah, I mean, and Boston specifically is one of the more just well-known, prestigious, old-time baseball cities and
legendary.
I'm excited for the couple years to come.
That's really cool. Well, and also you're the first guest we've had since we actually got our Signal Award for Best Interview Talk Show on a podcast in America. So we're showing it off. We're going to leave it here.
As you should.
As we should. Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool. So I actually knew you when you were a kid because I know your dad, Red Mills, the great voice.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think your voice is compared to your dad's? Because your dad was the voice of KXOY.
Mm-hmm.
He's the voice of all kinds of commercials. I've used him for voice work over the years for commercials we've done. I mean, guy's got pipes.
The dude knows how to talk, and he's got a good voice. And I feel like I have a good voice. I even the other day was told, "Whoa, you responded in a very good radio voice there," and I was like, "Oh,
you do got the."
I got it in my blood.
Got the pipes.
I got it in my blood, but
you do.
No, Greg. Yeah, Greg's still. I mean, he not so much now. Now he's edits that audio visual editor, but yeah, he's got the pipes.
Oh man, yeah, and such a good dude. And so, what has it been this like for your parents? Do you think? From like all the little league games to whatever, and so just to kind of flash back, you and I have a lot in common, just because you went to St. Al's,
Mm-hmm.
then you went to Gonzaga Prep, and then went to Gonzaga University. I went to St. Charles, G Prep, Gonzaga. Where you and I are both as Jesuit as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
How has that been, sort of? And then you played for the Mariners.
Yeah.
In their system, and then broke into the major leagues there. You've been kind of a hometown guy your whole way. How has that been for you?
I mean, yeah, looking back on that and hearing that, like that's unbelievable. That someone would be
so rare, right? The opportunity.
So, yeah, not just even play for the hometown college, but the hometown professional team. One of my first minor league teams was over in Everett in northern Seattle too. So it's just like,
and you'd come play the Indians.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I mean, how has it been for me? Again, it's kind of just, it's been my job. It's been my work, but it never really was my passion or my future goal of a job. I really was just the head case, not thinking about that. I was just going to school and having fun. I remember even in pro ball, coach was trying to light a fire under me, and I was just like, I just want to have fun with my friends. Like, I'm just coming to work.
This isn't gonna last forever, pal. Right?
So, I mean, it's been so amazing for me, but I really have just been in the present the whole time. So if I'm looking at it from my parents' perspective, I've seen the pure joy on their face of just watching me go from step to step to step. Even Greg with the pipes of steel that he has.
Yeah,
he was my announcer for Gonzaga baseball. Like, he was calling me in to come save the game, and
how cool
was
is
there
that?
in the booth, like, for all these amazing memories, the team memories and personal memories. So stuff that I'm not even thinking of now. It's just like it comes back. They were so involved, and then being able to be at T-Mobile Park and watch me debut in 2021, I'm sure it was just a dream come true for who they're watching. They just know how special that is.
Is that for them or for you? Do you think that they, because they were here kind of the whole way and close, did that help your ability, or would it have been almost easier if they hadn't been? You know what I mean? Some people are like, Mom and Dad, just go away, or has it been a help, I guess?
I mean, I think
the support's there.
I think it's been a help because the support, obviously being so close, is so key. Even if I'm not noticing that I need the support or whatever. But I do remember going from Seattle to Kansas City. So even if I'm not noticing
out of your hometown.
And I guess minor leagues.
It's
minor leagues. I'm wherever, right? But when you're playing in the major leagues, it's like, okay, you're on stage in front of the world, and it's if you do poorly, you're fired, or you're sent down, or you're released, or
pretty
whatever.
simple.
It's pretty simple. And I felt freer when I was gone. I mean, Seattle comes with a lot for me, and especially just being a rookie. I'm trying to make a name for myself.
Your hometown
scared.
team.
Oh, I'm not scared. Yeah, I mean, I'm man enough to admit my fear. I mean, yeah, like I don't want to fail here, and it was up and down, and the big leagues has been up and down, and it's probably up and down for pretty much everybody.
Yeah. And
it's really hard to stick, and it's really hard to do well. Yeah. But when I went to Kansas City, I felt like the eyes were off. I've strung together some really good really good games in a row, but that's also, I grew as a player over the year or two. So you never know. Yeah.
Well, and part of that I think too is, they always say it changes scenery, right?
Oh yeah.
And it must have been that way, because you probably didn't. You probably didn't realize till you were in Kansas City that you maybe had carried that sort of pressure. You probably had pressure you didn't even realize.
That's looking back 100%. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So at what point did you feel like you knew I could do this? Or are you still not sure?
No, baseball?
Yeah. When did you know you're like, I think I can do this?
Well, it was a small step at a time. Like in college, it was completely off the radar. It was actually, if you want to dive into it, I was so off the radar that I switched to sidearm in college. So I was over the top, was told I wasn't going to make the team, switched to sidearm on my own, and then come back and make the team as a sidearmer, go off and play summer ball and dominate, and then come back. And that next year kind of hit a growth spurt, started throwing low mid 90s, and then got a first letter of like, hey, we're the Brewers, and we're thinking about drafting you. And so everything, it was just like smack in the face, smack in the face, smack in the face. Teams are knocking on the door. And then, but that's not even the big leagues. But as a college player, like if you're going to get drafted, or a high school player,
that's huge.
That seems like the big leagues.
That's almost bigger than making it from Double-A to the majors.
Exactly. But then when you get there, you're at the bottom of the totem pole, and you got to climb back up. And let me tell you, when you get to the big leagues, you are at the bottom of the totem. That's not the goal. The goal is to stay in the big leagues.
That's right.
Everyone in their mind thinks if you just make it to the big leagues, all the coaches there, everybody says, we don't care that you made it. Congrats. But we want you to stick because we need to try to win a World Series.
That's right. Yeah, they need you.
So it just never ends. It never ends.
Right. Well, and we were just talking with Jeff, who happened to be our first guest on the podcast, and he was dropping in, and he's just talking about how people learn, right? And that must have been sort of an interesting way to learn. And one of the things he asked you and I both was, what do you wish you would tell little you, right? What would you tell the younger you about learning? And what'd you say? It was interesting.
It's just about failure. It's just I was one of those kids that I just was blessed athletically, and I was blessed in school to where I didn't have to try and could skate through how I wanted to give effort. I just wanted to give this amount of effort, and I can do it and still do well. And
kind of find that check the box in a month.
Then
have fun.
Have fun and not stress so much, right? And then
nothing wrong with that, by the way.
Nothing wrong with that, but I couldn't tap into my true, learning ability. I couldn't grow. There was no growth because there was no failure, and failure just sounded like the worst word ever to me forever.
Right.
And then once I failed, and you just start hearing all these things about, you know, growth comes from failure, and you start experiencing it, and then you see yourself just make a massive jump. Or that happened to me. Double A, I get smacked in the face.
What was smacked in the face mean? What happened?
I mean, one month of April, the beginning of the season in Double A, probably gave up.
Just the start of the season.
A 6 or a 7 ERA, you know, just
out of the gate.
Probably 5 outings out of the 7, just walking people, getting taken out of the game, can't finish it. Pitching coordinator comes into town and says, like, I'm not afraid to send you down.
So this is Mariners.
This is the Mariners minor leagues, Double A. Yeah.
And you were where? Arkansas?
I was in Arkansas. Nice.
Yeah. Hey.
Travelers.
I'm a Mariners fan. Yeah.
Yeah, Little Rock.
Little Rock, yeah.
I had gotten called up.
Little Rock.
I called up the year before, so I had already been there at the start of this next
year.
Okay,
so this wasn't a complete. So you'd actually been there.
I had been there, and it wasn't.
So when
great.
you first got there, you were okay or not?
Well, so I had just a dynamite high A season in California, and I got called up at the end of the year.
Where in California was
Modesto.
That? Modesto, yeah.
Nice.
Modesto Nuts.
Mm-hmm. I know the little
one of the best
teams are fun.
One of the best, mascots.
Yes. Oh yeah, but just really struggled. Was told I was probably going to be sent down.
First time in your life.
First
probably.
time, and I'm scared, but for some reason, within me, that was when I started going. I need to get better. I need to listen. I need to pick up on things. You know. Those weren't the exact words that my mind was telling me, but that's where I went. I went and started searching for what I need to do to get better and learning about myself and start caring about mechanics of what is my body actually doing? How do I throw? Why am I good? You know?
Yeah.
That's where it really
understanding
started
why you were good.
Who am I? Or why am I good? And then what do I need to bring to the table as a pitcher? I can't do everything. I can't be everyone and everything.
No.
I am myself, and I'm unique. So let's just hone in those skills specific to being a sidearm pitcher of where I can succeed the best. And that goes into analytics and all that, but yeah.
So I've had a lot of people on here that have had kind of the similar education you and I've had, that Jesuit kind of thing. Do you think that there is something about that grit that, especially the G Prep guys, I think, it's a private school. There's definitely, people of privilege that are there. You and I didn't come out of the privileged world. I mean, but you learn to kind of fight. There's a grit that you kind of develop there. Did you think any of that was kind of nurtured by that, or this town? There's something about this place.
Has to be.
Has to be.
Has to be. I mean, I believe it. Do I know for sure? No.
You could have quit, but you didn't quit.
No. Kind
of doubled down.
You're right. And maybe that's a testament to just who I am. But truthfully, I think that the people that you've grown up with, that have taught you, that have
been around you,
they shape you. So 100%. That's who I was shaped by, and.
And no matter what's the worst that's going to happen, okay, I'm done. At some point, that's going to happen for everybody.
Oh, it'll happen.
And everybody here is cool. You always got those people aren't going to change.
No.
They're always there for you. So why the hell not? Why the hell not keep going?
Yeah,
right?
What are you scared of?
Yeah, there's no reason to be.
Just go see how far you can go.
Yeah, just see how far you can go. That's amazing. Wow. Okay, Major League debut. What was that day like? First of all, how do you find out? Who tells you? Did you know, or are you like, holy shit, I have no idea this is coming? Did you feel like it was getting there? Are they giving you hints, or was it just out of the blue?
No, I didn't get any hints, but I was pitching really well, and this was the beginning of the year, so I hadn't even really started that 2021 season.
This is still in Arkansas.
So no, it was a weird COVID start to the season.
Okay.
So I had a huge growth period where they left me off all the COVID roster.
Okay, so
right? Before that,
let's go back to the
sure
getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
When did you start to come back, and when did you know? Okay, I can. They gave you a little more rope or whatever. When did you see the climb back, and how did that? How long did it take?
I would say nobody even talked about it after that. I went out there with a angry mentality, and I'm not an angry person, and
you're not.
And my pitching character is not angry, so I didn't carry that over. But there was a same thing in getting a D in accounting. There's the same thing in failing in biology in college. It's like that happened, and I have it within me that like I'm a perfectionist. I want to be the best. That can't be me. So I find whatever I can do to have it not be. And I feel like I'm pretty freaking good at that.
Yep.
And
that's what you want in life.
And so nobody even talked about it. And I ended up shoving so well month after month after month to the end of the season. I got invited to go pitch for Team USA in the Olympic qualifiers.
No way.
I mean, it just turned into this ridiculous thing. And then they protect me. I'm on the roster in the off season.
You can breathe a little bit.
I can breathe, but they leave me off the COVID roster. So there's only specific amount of minor leagues hadn't even started. It got pushed back.
Right, and they had like taxi squad stuff.
And I wasn't on any of that, right? So I'm like, what is going on? But I just put my head down and freaking worked hard because that's kind of where my mind was. I was like, okay, well, I know what I need to do. Let's go do it. I had a better sense of myself.
So from the day that pitching coordinator goes,
yeah,
you're in trouble, and you got your ass kicked, was it the next? What was the next? The next time you came into a game, or was it 4 times later? Like how quickly?
I don't remember, but it wasn't very many games.
It was pretty quick.
It might have been one game.
Got your attention. You may have one more bad outing, and then
the switch flipped, and it really was just. It's just confidence, man. It's like it's instead of just being able to look at my target, not care about anything, and just shove the ball through the glove. Like I was worried about, am I going to throw a strike? I don't want to throw a ball. Is this guy going to hit it? All these
so you were
mental.
thinking.
I am a mental head case when it comes to my failure. It's not so much that I can't physically do it,
Right.
And that's pretty much everyone.
That is everyone and everything in life.
So
if you start thinking about the stuff you're not going to do well, guess what? You're going to do it.
I made gains mentally.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
So what I was going to ask you about that. Do you think, or do you just feel and block it out? How much thinking is there in what you do at this point? Or are you just not thinking?
That's the hard part because I feel like
there's a balance there.
Not thinking and feeling is when you're in the zone, right?
Right.
When you're
exactly yes.
But I am a thinker. I am a massive thinker. So it's hard. It's been hard for me to balance that. Mostly been great.
You're Luke.
But
what is it, Nuke LaRouche or whatever on Bull Durham?
Yeah.
Don't think meat.
Exactly. So,
but thinking could be in your advantage if you're thinking about how to approach this guy and break him down, and I know that he's got a weakness there, and how am I going to get?
Part of the game.
It's constant.
You have
what's
to flip
that?
the switch.
What is that? How much do you delve into that, or is that just, dude? I'm just throwing to the Met. This guy's throwing down the sign. Or are you now getting to the point where you're like, I've studied this guy. I know where his tendencies are. I know what's going to need. I've just been talking to the guys in the bullpen for the last hour. I know this guy, I can get him out of the way if I set him up inside for whatever. How much of that is going on? Is it all the time, or is it just, I'm throwing to the mitt?
I had to start with I'm throwing to the mitt
because
I got to know. Like, I got to know my weapons. I got to know what I can do and what I
got to know what you can
and how
do.
I practice is,
Yeah.
I got 3 locations, right? They call it the triangle game. I got a fastball up. I got a fastball over here, and I throw a, fastball and slider to both sides of the plate and that 4-seam up. And that's what I do. I don't need anything else, other than a couple inches, a little bit off the plate when I'm ahead in the count with the slider or the fastball, right? So there's nothing crazy. It's not like I need to master the entire strike zone.
No. It's going to be a few things.
It's a few things.
And
so
he probably knows, the guy facing you, what those things are.
Heck yeah, he does. But
absolutely.
That's where it's like, I'm
that's
just
the fun
confident.
Of it, though.
You, like you said earlier, you're going to fail 7 out of 10 times if you're a Hall of Famer.
As a hitter.
Yes, as a hitter. So I'm not worried about you.
You get the advantage.
My fear is it's for the most part gone away because, just learning that stat of, or like there's a crazy stat out there that's like 94% of first pitch of the at bat, that's a strike. If I throw it over the plate, 94% of the time it's a strike or it's an out. So 6% of the time, if you just throw the ball over the plate, in the major leagues over
Is a hit.
3 years or whatever of data,
It's a hit?
6% of the time it's a hit.
No
So
way.
don't be scared to throw the ball over the plate.
Way. So getting ahead is everything.
Getting ahead is everything, especially within the Mariners. That's where I learned all this.
Well,
Like,
absolutely. They're all about that, man.
They're the pitching
Control
farm,
the
man.
zone.
Oh, you know it.
Absolutely.
So that was, learning these little pieces of data. It's like, wait,
takes the pressure off.
just throw the ball. And especially with my wacky sidearm stuff, it's like, throw the ball over the plate.
Yeah.
So,
So many questions. Dude, I can talk you for
So I
hours.
guess, so it's not so much who am I facing. Oh, there's a little bit of that in the big leagues. It's like pull out a little card from my pocket and it tells me where I can attack this hitter.
Right.
It's to a T. Like where can I throw it?
All the data is there.
But it's where do I throw it best and where can I attack this person?
Let me tell you, 15 years ago, that wasn't there.
No, it was just word of mouth. Right?
The only guy that did it was Jamie Moyer, who had a book. And
like,
now
he could throw it to every part of the zone.
Of course he could.
It's amazing.
He should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
No, he was unbelievable. Especially when he threw like 78 miles an hour. He was throwing. God, I love watching that guy.
Yeah.
First player that you faced in the majors where you went, oh my God, I am facing, oh my God.
Yordan Alvarez. I mean, I think I've gotten him out one time, and he hit like 112 grounder to second, and I got him out. Other than that, he's hit two balls off the wall that they had to review if it was a home run or not, and both were doubles. But it's just like kind of humiliating.
He's just so
like,
good.
And the Astros fans are just like in your face. So.
Oh, dude, he's just so good. I hate that guy.
And he's a monster.
And
he's a lefty. And
lefties
they punish me a little bit.
Oh, well, yeah, because you're a righty.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, oh my God. He's not in your head, though. You still kind of know, the odds are on my favor here.
Hey, that's what you tell yourself, but when you get in there and you're
facing that dude is so big.
It can creep in, and it has in the past, and that's the whole
That's
game.
your growth.
That's the whole game.
That's your growth, right?
It's my
that's
growth.
Your
if
personal,
I can conquer that, I will be a good player.
So Yordan Alvarez is your your teacher, right? You right?
Yeah.
He is. He's your spiritual practice.
He doesn't know that, but he sure is helping me.
He doesn't know that. He's your spiritual practice, though, right? Like if I can get this guy, yeah.
To be nothing to me, to allow me just to just execute what I need to do.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Right. And it's just doing it enough times.
And if he does it, if he hits me and I execute, I tip my cap.
Absolutely.
And that's pitching.
Yeah. Right. And that's pitching, and that's Major League Baseball.
You got to do it 3 times to score.
They're going to. The guy's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame someday. I mean, he's amazing.
Sure.
But that is the coolest part of the experience is you're always getting tested. And you're either gonna, like you said, you're either gonna fight and keep fighting, or you're gonna just not, and you're just gonna fight. I mean, you're just going to
have to.
Mariners have a really interesting. I've noticed this last round, they've done incredible jobs with guys who were quote unquote on the scrap heap. Paul Sewald is the classic example. Of course they let him go, and then he wins a freaking World Series or whatever. Gets there almost. But whatever. Everybody's happy for him, and they certainly are. So, what I've heard about that and learned about that is that they, in a lot of cases, they'll come in and go, "You really do, like you said, you really do these 3 things well. I know I got a fastball and a slider. I could. They come in throwing 5 pitches, and they end up just saying, just throw 2. Sewald had like 4 or 5 pitches. He was a starter. They brought him in, and he just threw 2. Right? Am I right about that ability that they have to kind of help that? And what did you learn? Did you watch any of him, get to know him at all, and see that transformation? Or were you not part of that? You were in the pen with him.
I was a part of all of it. And he probably doesn't know that, but I was there. I mean, I
know.
I was there for the, there was a little T-Mobile Park COVID where they invited me up pretty late, and I went up there, and he was there. So he hadn't broke with the team in the big leagues. He was just going to start in AAA, and he did start in AAA.
So you saw the front of this.
So I saw the front of it.
No way.
And I was going through the same thing. So, but first, it's just a credit to the Mariners analytic team. I mean, they go after.
Dude, if
people
I'm a pitcher,
with
especially a reliever, I want to pitch in that organization. Don't you?
Yeah. I mean, if you got a 4-seam that you backspin the heck out of it, and the analytics say, this is it's a rise ball to the hitters. Like you throw it so tightly and it rotates so quickly. You have an unbelievable pitch. So let's take that pitch and tell you where to throw it. So Paul Sewald had an amazing four-seam fastball that just wasn't riding because he was throwing it in the bottom of the zone. So if you raise that up to the top of the zone, it looks like it's going to be
he was
in the middle.
Guys out of the top.
So and so that's what he kind of
has.
has that
looking like it's the middle and it rises, and that's rare.
And honestly, from my perspective, Paul Sewald throws to one location. He has the glove set up, and I learned this from him. He has the glove set up at the upper middle third of the zone. Mm-hmm. And the catcher leaves his glove there, and that's his target. And he throws his four seam there, and he starts his slider there, and it busts off. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but that's his visual, and he has such good stuff analytically that he can just live in the zone and get outs. And I'm the same way. So that's where I'm like, he was the guy that I was watching. He was also the guy that's just putting me under his wing and
super cool, dude.
Bringing me to the catcher and say, tell your freaking catcher where you want him to set up. You're a young buck.
You're in charge, man.
You got to do this. Yeah. You got to be a man about it. And it's like, whoa. So I grew up with him kind of.
How cool is that? I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody else on there that was like a huge mentor for you, or a coach or something that you were like, there's probably so many, but
so many. I mean, Pete Woodworth as the pitching coach for the Mariners.
Yeah.
I worked with him, and he was less of the let's do this and that and this, and more of,
hey man, relax and breathe through your eyelids.
And that's it was a good coaching style for me.
Yeah.
I had success in high A and double A with him, and then
so you
made
grew
it to
up
the big
with
leagues.
him.
I know. He's my guy. He's my guy.
Well, and you're his guy.
I hope he would say that. Yeah. No, he would.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, yeah, he's a rock star. Man, their pitching is phenomenal.
I know.
Yeah. Any players there that you're like, that's my guy? I mean, obviously Marco must have been somebody that you knew because he's a Zag. And
Marco's a Zag, and Marco took me under his wing as well and defended me and just let people know that I was a Zag and that he was a Zag. So I love him for that. He's a starter, and he's on his own routine, but
yeah,
he's a good team leader. So it was cool to be in the clubhouse with him.
I bet. Yeah. And now he's gone. He just got traded.
I know.
He gets traded, and he got
traded again to someone else, didn't
Pittsburgh. He's now landing in Pittsburgh.
Cool. A job's a job, man.
Hey, right? No, and he's yeah. What do you think of him? Because I mean, March Madness comes around. You two guys must have been like Zags, man.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
is there sort of competition among the college guys and when you get to March Madness? Because Gonzaga it's a special thing.
No, it is
Zag basketball.
And I'm a huge Zag basketball guy. I'm a huge college basketball guy.
There,
oh yeah.
See, that ball is signed by all the Zags that I filmed.
Whoa, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So Ronnie Turioff, Stockton's on the back. Adam Morrison, Batista.
So it's like an all-star list.
Yeah, of just people that I filmed. In fact, Joe Few signed that because we filmed him last year.
He's an all-star.
And Kelly Graves' kid. What's his name? Will Graves. Will, yeah, awesome guy. So he signed it. We've had a couple women players too, but
nice.
There's several that I have not had sign it because I forgot I filmed Karnowski and Pangos and all those guys.
No Timmy.
I never worked with Timmy, but Anton, he signed it. We've done two commercials with Anton, and he went to school at Prep. Were you there when he was there? No, he was younger.
I don't think so.
Yeah, my daughter Emma was in his class, and they were actually in community service together. She drove him around in her team, like teams of three, and she's like, Anton somehow fit into her
stuffed
car.
in the back, yeah.
So she's been on the shoots that we've had with him. It's been cool. Those guys have gotten to see each other and stuff. Cool. But yeah, I know. So I mean, you grew up St. Al's. Geez. I mean, Zags are everything, right?
Zags are everything, but what I learned in the baseball world is most people care about football, like around the country.
Weird.
I met my guys that liked basketball, and I'm all in. And not that I'm not a football fan, but yeah, nobody really wants to talk about the Zags. They want to talk about the Alabama Crimson
your job. It's your job to keep the fire going. You and Marco keeping the fire going.
Let them know. We'll let them know.
Let them know. So Marco gets traded. Mm-hmm. You got traded. The day that you make your major league debut, unforgettable had to be, right? So we didn't get to finish that.
We didn't even get to, yeah.
So what was that day like? How did you find out? What was that like?
Debut day?
Yeah, or just finding out. Like you're just in Double A.
Sure.
When do you get the call?
So I actually was already in Seattle. I was at the T-Mobile Park backup. I got called in. So it was COVID. So I finally got called to go to the backup. You know, we're like scrimmaging at 7 in the morning.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys are the pool in case somebody gets sick.
So we're scrimmaging at 7 in the morning, and then there's a game later that night that the Mariners actually playing
6 p.m. or whatever.
So we just have to stay ready, right? And so I'm already in Seattle, living in a hotel across the street from the stadium.
Oh yeah, that cloud.
Yeah, and you just watch the game at night, and then you go throw at 7 a.m. and then
that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. But when I got the call, it was the call from the same coordinator that told me,
"You're done, kid. If you don't start,
we're gonna fire you here." Yeah. And he was so happy for me, but I was, that's when the heart starts bumping a little bit, and that's when it's the whole day. So
what did he tell you?
The whole day just
you get a call.
Amped.
You get a call. Phone rings. What happens?
Oh, he treated it as like, you achieved your dream, buddy. Like you're going to the big leagues. You're gonna walk across the street. So he says that, put the uniform on.
You're like, what? What are you thinking?
I just looked at my wife and said, "Oh my gosh, I got called up to the big leagues," and we hugged and embraced, and I called my folks and.
What they say? What mom and dad say?
They were
crying.
Like ghost. My mom was a ghost, and then she was just like trying to figure out how she can.
How the hell can I get there?
Can I get
there?
Do
I need to get the car right now and drive?
They got there.
Of course they did.
And I pitched.
I pitched not that
far on that day. No, it's not. And that's the amazing thing about the Mariners. For my career, like my parents, my family. A lot of them were. Some family was already in Seattle, just able to come, and I pitched in the game, and it was just like a. Check, boom, Wow.
Yeah. That must be just unbelievable.
I threw only fastballs, and I couldn't even breathe. I pitched that night, couldn't even breathe, all fastballs.
I've watched a lot of baseball, obviously.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I know. It's probably too much. It's like it's my therapy, I sort of think. But and I've noticed that when they call somebody up, they're probably going to pitch them that night.
Good call, yeah.
I mean, because you want this out of the way.
Oh, they do too, yeah.
I mean, they do too, and you want that out of the way. And it's like, okay, now I check, I did that. Yeah. Where their family people came over. So your wife is a styling.
She is.
This is amazing. Welcome to Spokane, Washington.
Welcome. Everyone knows everyone.
Tell me about her. How did that happen? And what a support she is for you, because that's a great family.
Oh, amazing family.
I mean,
I can't say enough
except for your father-in-law, who I have a great story about. And I will tell this because it's too good anyway.
No, her family is just the sweetest, kindest. Her name's Molly.
That's right.
Molly Mills now. We're married.
She and Nick were buddies too. They were in choir
together. Same class, right?
Yep, same class. Yeah. So are you, what year are you older than Molly?
By 1 year.
1 year. Okay, so you're a year older. Okay, Nick and Molly are the same age. Yeah, because they sang in choir together. She's great. Yeah.
So we all went to the same school. I mean, I knew of her. We had the same mutual friends, right?
Really cool.
She is.
She's just really cool.
We went to college together. She and I still knew of each other, right? But never really was hanging out or anything. And I played baseball with a guy named Corey who married her sister, older sister.
Oh, okay.
And there just came a time I had been drafted and I was in my first year, and then I came back for the off season after my first year.
So you're home. This is after college. And
she's a senior in college, and
okay.
I'm home, right?
Right.
And Corey came up to me and said, "Dude, I know her, and I know you, and I think you gotta meet her."
Corey's the matchmaker.
Corey's the matchmaker. And
what's Corey's last name?
Corey LeBrun.
And he pitched. He played.
He was a position player at Gonzaga.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
And so now he's my brother-in-law, and that's fantastic. But
wow,
no, it's just amazing people.
Really cool people.
Yeah, and after that the first date we were golden. So
yeah. Well, Nate, your father-in-law, which is
amazing
just
guy.
So weird to say that Nate would be a father-in-law at all.
He's a grandpa.
Oh my God, Nate Stylen is.
The mayor of Spokane. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. So my best story about Nate, and his brother Mark is a phenomenal screenwriter and producer. Produced the movie Tag, and just really good dude. And that's how I got you. We got invited to a little party he put on, and you were there. I'm like, what are you doing? So, and Nate was there, and I probably told this story with you when he was there, but and I told this, yeah, I guess I did. But Nate was a freshman when I was a senior at prep. And we heard about this party that these freshmen were throwing, which is now like down by Hangman Golf Course, that road to Hangman, there are all those big houses that are on the road there. They were being built at the time, if you can believe it, that long ago. And so it was just this construction site and like nobody there. And so they're like, hey, here's an empty thing. Let's just have this. So we pull in and there's like 4 of us seniors, and Nate is so funny. And he's just like, hey, pretty drunk. And they got a keg. And he's like, you guys are here? No way. Fucking A. Fucking A, you guys are here. Fucking A. He just kept saying that. Like, this is amazing. And we were like, yeah, man, this is great. And then we stole his keg. And we took it to another party. And he's never, we've always talked about that. Oh, that's bonded he and I forever. So whenever we see each other as we were, getting older and stuff, he's got little kids, I got little kids, we would always say, fucking A, Nate, fucking A. That was our sort of term for each other.
And that's what you said at the party.
That's what I said at the party. So we always joked about that. He handled it so well because he could have been a dick about it, and he could have kicked my ass. He's a big dude.
Oh, yeah.
But, he was just like, oh, okay, you got me. I mean, Nate, he's just great. And so all went through that. I just remember we were like, he had little kids and I did, and we were all like, we run into each other at a store or something, and he's got little kids, and he starts to go, oh, and he goes, oh, I can't say it. So Nate is the
great
best
guy,
dude
great family,
ever. Great family. You're lucky. That's a big part of this success that makes this really, really go. I'm sure.
Oh, and our dynamic, Molly and I's dynamic is I'm the calm, just in control guy, and she's and kind of lost with my schedule and everything. She's like accountant, boom, boom, boom. So it's like I need to calm her. Like, she's just so high strung sometimes, and I'm so out of it and need some organization in my life. So it just
it's a perfect team.
It's been so great. It's been such a great.
Oh, God. Do you have kids yet?
Almost 2 years. No kids yet.
Okay. Well,
coming soon. Right?
Enjoy that while you can.
Well, understood.
It's I'm not going to say. We're drinking whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? So,
smooth.
Have a sip of this. We've done this with everybody. This is now the Wyatt Mills Amador taste test.
What do you want me to say about it? Anything?
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't even really have that bite at the end. I feel like it's so smooth. It tastes great. I don't know much about whiskey or what I'm talking about, but fantastic.
I always feel like there's a little honey in there.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm not one of those wine guys who's like, oh,
no,
I can taste
some oak.
Yeah, or whatever. But I mean, I am the same way. I've never liked whiskey. I think in college I got drunk on bad, cheap whiskey.
Oh,
that
so
was
it was just
horrible.
done.
And I was just like, I don't want to drink that stuff ever. And then I got gifted this on my 50th birthday. And I was like, this stuff is really good. And ever since, I'm kind of hooked.
Maybe I'll get some for Nate. Yeah.
It's a good call. Amador is a good one. And
cool.
So we're always saying we want Amador to sponsor the podcast, but they essentially do. I mean, we're giving it away kind of free. All right, I have 2 baseballs here. I want you to pull that out. All right. You're going to get a choice on which one you're going to sign, and each has a story. So that was Juan Gonzalez.
Oh, this is the Juan Gonzalez.
Yeah. So I was on a
AAA.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's the ball they had. That's a AAA ball?
PCL, Pacific Coast League.
Oh, okay. So it must have been something to do with that. But we were filming a big commercial that he was in for a shoe. I can't remember what it was. And we were doing behind the scenes for it. And he was there. And it was in Seattle. Here, give me your glass.
Yep.
And it was in Seattle. And we were doing... They filmed it at the... Where was that? It was like Union Station. But it was all like beat up and crap. It was like unfinished. And so I got a few minutes with him, and I'm like, this guy's a phenomenal player. Played for Texas. He was really, really good. And he signed the baseball. So there's that.
Cool.
And I know you're not a big follower of who plays baseball like I am, but you look at his stuff, it's like this guy was feared.
This guy's nasty.
Very,
Right.
very good. Really good outfielder, really good player. Played for a long time, too. I think he played for 10 plus seasons.
Oh, man, that's hard to do.
That's hard to do. Okay, so there's that.
Cool.
And then the other one, that's the one you have right here, signed by Joel Pinheiro.
Ooh, Mariner.
Mariner, remember, and Freddie Garcia.
2 starters, right? Yeah.
2 starters. Okay, so here's the story. I'm throwing my son, Nick, under the bus, since you know Nick.
Mm-hmm.
He is, I think it's Little League Day, Mariners Little League Day. You were probably there. Maybe, or whatever. They had Mariner Little League Day. So we came over. You're wearing your uniform, and you get in free or something. So he was wearing his Little League uniform, and Nick played. He was a pretty good player. He played quite a while.
Okay.
He was good player, and loved baseball. And he's like, I want to get this signed by. He loved Freddie Garcia, and so we go down. He's standing there, and you guys sign, right? So this, I don't know when you signed baseball. So it's before the game, right? Come over, a couple players come over, and Pinheiro comes over, and Freddie's like signing down there. And Nick, we watched a lot of baseball, his mom and I both, and so he knows who Pinheiro is, and he especially knows who, he doesn't really know who he is, but he knows who Freddie Garcia is. Pinheiro comes up, ready to sign the ball, looks at him, hey, how you doing? And Nick goes, I don't want him. He's like 6,
man.
like 6 years old or something. He's like, I want,
They told that in the clubhouse story.
We are like, oh my God, that's Joel Pinheiro, dude.
You don't
the
understand.
that guy pitched 10 years on the majors. You don't know what we're like, so sorry. And he just takes him on this, whatever, and he signs it.
Oh, jeez.
So we are so pissed at Nick. We're like, you are so in trouble. Like, forget it. We go back to the seat. And then, that's right. So we're just like, oh my God, I can't believe we did that. And then, then Freddie comes over, starts signing. And Nick's like, take me down there. I want to go sign. And we're like, we're not going. Screw you, kid. You just insulted Joel Pinheiro. You want to go get that sign? You got to go by yourself. We're like, 30 rows up or something. And Nick's like, okay. And he just walks down.
Heck yeah.
Freddie Garcia signs it, gets it done, comes back, and he learned a lesson. We learned a lesson, but he did it. I was like, I'm kind of proud of him for doing that.
He knew who he wanted.
So, has that happened to you? You kind of hope it does, maybe.
I mean, where someone says, I don't want your signature?
I mean, little kids.
I would say yeah. I mean, not as direct as that, but yeah, when Julio Rodriguez is walking behind me, it's not me.
Right,
it's not. It's they want him.
Okay, so speaking of him, tell me about this guy. Anything you know? I mean, I've been around. I don't know. I remember when Griffey was a rookie, and we were actually in Seattle, and he was. I met him twice, which was pretty cool. He was just running downtown with Billy Swift. They're just like running by our car. I'm like, that's Junior. So we like say hi to him. He was super cool. And then when Nick was in the womb, literally. We're at spring training. His mom, Tessa, and I, we're at spring training, and we're hanging out, and Griffey's there, and Tessa's pregnant, and he comes over and he goes, hey, my wife's pregnant. And he starts talking to her. No way. Super cool. He goes, do you get really hot at night? Because my wife, man, she's so hot. It's just like, I got to like get away. It's too warm. And
just having a human conversation.
Yeah, super human. He's like, do you get really hot at night? And Tessa, oh my God, Nick's mom, without misgiving a beat, she's like, how do you think I got like this?
Good for her. Well done.
And all the guys start laughing, and it's incredible. And we had a picture of our cat watching Junior a baseball game. And it's he gets up to bat, and it's got his stats 1 for 4 tonight. And she's like, "What's the deal? You're only 1 for 4." He's like, "Hey, I got a hit." So he talked for 10 minutes with us. Was so great, just super personal. It wasn't weird, wasn't that. I can't talk to you. I'm a major league pitcher, or major league player. So how's Julio in that regard? Because he seems, honestly, I see Julio as even more comfortable, cool, approachable than Junior was. Because Junior could get kind of pissy later in life. You know what I mean? When we watched, you'd watch him, he'd be, I don't know, he got a little cranky at times.
Yeah, no, Julio is who you think he is.
I would think.
Julio is, I can't say enough good things about Julio Rodriguez. He just is the man for the team, the man for the fans, the man for TV. Like, he's really good at being himself, and himself is an entertainer.
He is.
You know what I mean?
The man for Major League Baseball.
I mean, he's kind of up there with, he could be the face because
I think
he has that like
is.
charisma or energy, you know?
Dude, the home run derby?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and he's a gamer, you know?
Yeah.
I know he, you know, I don't think he had like some spectacular year that he could have had after the Rookie of the Year.
Yet.
Yeah, no, but it's like, it was a good year.
It was a great year.
And everybody's expectations were just through the roof. But give the kid time. He's a gamer. He's passionate about the game. He learns. He's obviously uber talented.
He seems really grounded and
he's like
and great.
Such an amazing dude. Yeah. Oh,
that's great. That's good to hear.
It's a good influence for everyone, especially Latin players that want to come play with him. And the clubhouse vibe is going to be booming with someone like him at the center. You know?
So what's it like to pitch? Did you ever get to pitch against Ohtani?
I did.
What is it like to pitch against maybe the greatest baseball player who's ever lived? I mean, right now he might be. Mm-hmm. Babe Ruth,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think right now, if you think greatest baseball player to ever live, that's ever played the game, it's Babe Ruth and Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, the two-way stars. I mean,
he's done it longer than Babe Ruth did. Babe Ruth pitched for 2 years.
Oh wow.
What is he? What is he like for you as a?
I want another at bat against him because it got cut short on a caught stealing.
Oh,
so I never. It didn't go down as an at bat. For all the statisticians out there, I don't know, but so I got behind in the count, had to throw some fastballs. You know, I'm aiming middle up, and they were middle, and he took a swing so hard, and you could hear the whoosh, fell to his knee.
You could feel
and it was a foul ball straight back.
You could feel the wind.
Oh yeah, hear it and feel it. So, and that's when I was like, man, like,
this is different.
He's not scared of me, and he's expecting to get a meatball and hit a homer. Like, and that's just that. So it's like, okay, my mentality is I don't want to throw a meatball. Like, I feel like it was almost like anything that came out of my hand was going to be a beach ball.
To him, it is,
and that's just that's where my mind went, and that's obviously we've talked about. That's not where I want to go.
That's not where you want to go.
I just want to execute.
That's right, because he still is only going to hit three out of 10.
But no, caught stealing ended it.
So what's the presence like when he steps in there? Is it different? Or not? It's just a guy.
Like, he's not super flashy. Like, it's very Japanese, you know? It's just like...
Yeah. But, man, the swing.
Stature, like... But he also knows he's really good, and he's not afraid to look at me. He's not afraid about anything about it. It's just, here's another at bat. I know that you're probably not that good. I'm going to smack it.
But what's that moment like? It's just you guys. In that moment.
It was really quiet. I mean, everything just kind of tunnels. It's just...
I bet it does. Is that tunnel for everybody? Or was it different with him?
No, it was different with him.
Yeah.
And it's not like I failed every time in those moments, but or Alvarez has my number, and that's tunneled. And then Altuve, it tunnels.
Yeah. Oh,
Bryce
Edgar
Harper
Martinez had
tunneled.
Edgar Martinez had
Judge tunneled. I mean,
yeah.
Walked him. But
really?
I know.
Well, I mean, for now, this is a process.
I got Harper, so
this is a process. You're on the journey. No, but like Edgar Martinez has, I'm bad. The greatest, Mariano Rivera.
Oh, sure.
He owns Mariano Rivera.
Oh, that's
owns him.
It's a feat.
And Rivera's like, I don't know what it is, man. Edgar just owned me.
Sure.
Now he's a Hall of Famer for sure, and maybe one of the greatest hitters ever. But still, nobody owned him.
No.
So everybody's gonna own somebody. I mean, it's just the way baseball works, right? Yeah, it's totally gonna be that way. All right, I want to show something. We're gonna look at this. Do you ever look at old pictures? Never.
I know, I'm so bad.
Oh, I hope not, because this is cool.
Show me some cool things.
I want you to not have looked at this guy.
I have not. Probably.
All right,
not.
so we're going to cut away to this and show it probably. But this is a guy named Kenta Culvey.
Okay.
All right.
I've heard the name.
You heard of Kenta Culvey?
I've heard the name.
Okay, so Kenta Culvey.
Submariner.
How are you different? We're going to watch this. How are you different than Kenta Culvey, right? In how you pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the because when I see a side armor, submariner. You're all different. I mean, there's some dudes, and we'll show a little of this, where they are literally almost on the ground throwing.
Knuckle scraping, yeah.
So what's the difference between a sidearmer and a submariner? And so we're just going to watch and see what this is. Okay, here, hold on. Oh, I got to do, we'll have to wait for the
the advertisement.
The
They'll get you. Those will get you.
Well, that's what I do for a living, so I guess I shouldn't be too.
That's how you get paid, I guess. Okay, Kent DeColvey.
He was a weird-looking dude.
That's the best. It's the best
Totally.
part, huh?
Look at this guy. So watch this delivery. He kind of whips it.
Super whippy.
He didn't throw that hard. 89.
Still pretty good.
Still pretty good. Okay, so that's Kent DeColvey.
Yeah,
There's Dan Quisenberry. There's a lot of these guys, right? And I'm going to look for another one here. But so what's the difference between that and you? How are you throwing it different than that? Right?
I just like to think of it as like the hands on a clock. Like I am 3 o'clock. I am throwing it at a, it's not really over and it's not under that 3 o'clock. It's just directly east west. You know what I mean? So,
okay.
So, and I'm whippy like that, but he's like, he gets underneath it a little bit. So he's kind of underneath it and whippy with it.
Yes. It loops a little. Yeah.
And I would consider myself more of like a power. Like
Okay. So we're going to look at you. This is you from 2022. How cool is this? Wyatt Mills pitching in the majors. Oh wait, that's not it.
Just the end. No, you skip to the end. You just skip to the end.
Skip to the end. Let's go back here. All right, so this is you.
Cool.
Dude, you're pitching. That's you.
That's that fastball up. That's where we need it.
Right? So what are you throwing at mostly at the top end?
That 4-seam fastball.
How fast? What's it going there?
90. That's a slider.
Slider.
92, 94.
So the other thing about pitching that I've always noticed, you got 94 and 79. Is that that difference in speed everything?
Well,
often.
Yeah, I mean, I think
your delivery. So how's your delivery? Is very different than Kent DeColvey?
No. I think the mechanics are the same. He just decides to get underneath it a little bit.
Right.
So he probably has a little bit more sink, and it's a little slower.
Interesting.
So I feel like I'm power.
You're more power.
I get into a position where I'm on top, and I push through it. I'm not slinging it.
Well, and you're a bigger dude. How big are you?
6'3", 225 right now.
Okay, so 6'3", 225. He's like, I think he was 6'3", like 185 or something. He was skinnier.
But his body can
he was
throw
really
a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
He had
It's
that
amazing.
like whip, that lanky whip.
There was an ex-Gonzaga pitcher now who's a big leaguer, Alec Jacob. So he is a sidearmer. He was a starter, throwing in the upper 80s.
Starter is a sidearmer.
Oh, and I'm telling you, if you looked at his numbers, you'd be like, whoa. College and minor leagues.
I have never seen in the majors a sidearm starter.
Nah, they don't want him to be a starter in the big leagues.
But there isn't, right?
No.
Why is that? Why would you not be?
It's a great question.
Why is there never? I don't think there's ever been a sidearmer.
That's a great question.
Why the hell not?
Because it's not really. It shouldn't be based off anything other than.
It should not.
Can you consistently execute pitches? That's a starter. Like I'm gonna
Do you think you could start?
No, because I truthfully just I'm not a executor. I'm not someone that can like really pinpoint and consistently just get ahead and
that's a long
own the
game,
zone.
man.
Like,
that's a 6 innings, 7 innings. That's a lot of pitches.
I'm coming flash you with a bright light and
you're a change of
you got
scenery.
15 seconds to figure it out before it's the 8th inning. Like that's my job.
Get in,
get out, scare them with some funk.
You're built for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
In and out, go sit down, grab a coffee. I'm done.
Speaking of that, what's it like in the bullpen? Come on, tell me the truth. Is it just nuts? Are those guys crazy? Are they? I mean, okay, let's just paint the picture. You are sitting with a bunch of dudes for 6 innings anyway, or 5 at least. That's an hour every day for 162 games if you're lucky and you get to play that long. It has got to be like a fraternity of just craziness.
So, in the major leagues, for me, it was more business. It was more in the my role. My role is if the game gets out of hand early, I'm coming in, so I need to be ready. My body needs to be ready in the second, third inning. Like I have to be physically and mentally prepared.
All those guys do.
Well, let's just take like at the time, Seawald or Diego Castillo, like. Those guys are going to pitch at the back end of the bullpen. Like they're looking at me when the game's going a little awry. So it's like there's me and there's seventh and eighth guys.
You better get me there.
Or just your turn to pitch, man.
This
is my role.
Yeah, right.
So in the big leagues, it was more business and it was more holy smokes. Like, am I going to pitch? Am I not going to pitch? I haven't pitched. I went a streak of 21 days without pitching in the major leagues. Being on the team.
Was that Seattle?
That was with Seattle.
I remember that.
Paul Sewald said, "Did you know?"
Still on the team?
Did you know that you made it a paycheck and a half without even working? I was like,
"That's a way to look at
it." No, but so like I said, that's business.
Yeah.
To me, you're still talking
shop. You're breaking in. This is not. You're not at that level. Yeah.
Minor leagues, you're playing games. You're playing reindeer games. You're playing like numbers games with who's hitting, and you're playing word games and memory
minor
games.
Leagues is that
you're doing trivia. We had like full on Family Feud. Someone would write up like a Family Feud Jeopardy, like, and we'd have teams.
Way.
Oh yeah, because in the minor leagues, honestly, like the teams I've been on, if you're pitching that day, like with Seattle and AAA, I'm pitching today. I'm throwing 1 inning and it's the 7th inning. Okay, everyone else. You either know you're throwing or you're off.
So you start putting the game face on at 6th inning or 5th inning or something like that.
Sure. Or imagine the day that you don't have to pitch. I mean, that's just like
you're just fucking with.
I get a hot cocoa. I go walk into the clubhouse. I sit there and watch 2 innings and there like.
So you went AA to the Mariners.
Yes.
And then you went AAA and back.
1,000 times. Yeah.
Seemed like.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that taxi?
It's hard. It's hard.
It is, right? What's the difference between AAA and majors? What's the difference between AA, AAA, and the majors? There is a distinct difference, right?
Yeah, I would say like AA, you got just a lot of really good scrappy players that make it up, and then add in the young talented players that are just there because they're destined for better. That's where they're at. AAA, it starts turning into, you get people that have been in the big leagues, that have been in professional leagues.
Glorified softball at some point.
Professional, yeah, it is with the age.
Yeah, age.
But you get Korea, Japan, people are coming back.
Yeah,
there's 35-year-olds. There's people with 7 years of big league time. And and the hitters are much more like, this is my approach because they know who they are. Like I had to learn who I was.
To work on something. Often.
Sure. But no, honestly, a lot of it is like the pitcher's like, I'm looking for your sinker low and away, and if you don't give me that, I'll just strike out. I don't care. Where in AA, it's like fight for numbers, and I just, I want to get a hit. I'm trying so hard where the approach changes, and the big leagues is that approach, but the players are just so much better at hitting the ball when they get their pitch. You know what I mean?
They don't miss their pitch.
They don't miss it. So that's kind of it. So really, it's just execution. If I can execute, I'll be fine. If they execute, they're going to be great. That's the difference.
So you go to Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then you get traded again
in the off season.
Yeah. You go to Boston.
Yeah.
You also get injured.
Yeah.
Where did that happen? And tell me about that.
Yeah. So I started camp. I pitched
first injury you probably ever had.
First ever. I was throwing the ball really well for Boston in spring training. Really well. But I knew
this is
just last spring training, yeah. I knew that something was up in the back of my head because all my preparation was great, but I couldn't throw it faster than 88 miles an hour.
Well,
And that's
you lost velocity.
And as a sidearmer, that's not that crazy. So everyone's like, "What do you
Kent
mean?"
Jacoby, but
I know.
89, and he pitched 100.
I know.
He pitched for 16 years.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Man, I'm just looking for that next day.
Okay, go ahead and finish that because I do have a question about longevity in a sidearmer.
With camp, yeah. I was pitching well. I wasn't throwing hard.
But you knew that you used to be at 93, 94, and you're at 88.
And I'm throwing 87, 88. And it dipped into 84. So,
hey, that deception could still be okay.
But I executed. So that's the thing. I was able to throw where I wanted to throw it. It just didn't have anything behind it.
Yeah.
And eventually it broke down to where I threw, and the next 2 days after, I couldn't even lob it at 10%. It was just, it hurt so bad in my elbow area.
All right. Now we know this.
So then that's when and then it was a whole show after that to where let's take some time off, come back, still hurts. Let's take more time off, come back, still hurts. Let's get imaging, nothing. It's just like, what? And then.
So they couldn't figure out.
I said, I'd like to get my second opinion. I have the right as a player.
Exactly right.
So I go to the Texas Rangers doctor, and he says, "You need surgery."
Tommy John.
It's not like you cut it clean off the bone, but there's a lot of tears from a lot of years of pitching, and if you can't pitch through it, then you need surgery.
So Tommy John surgery is what? Where is the injury, and what does that mean?
Test my biology skills.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
ulnar
roughly,
collateral ligament, like UCL. It's just. Right over that elbow.
Yeah.
It's really, if you see my scar, it's really not that big of an incision.
Yeah. No, not crazy.
They took my tendon out of my wrist and cleared this out and put my tendon into my ligament space, and it forms back into the form of the function of the ligament.
That's amazing.
And here we are, and we're actually going to start playing catch on December 20th. So
hey, congratulations!
Yeah, we're already, and it's been great
so
far.
That happened in spring training. So it's.
I had surgery in July.
Okay. So you had surgery. So July, and we're here in December 20th. So it's 6 months.
I know.
Before you can pick up baseball.
I know. That's the way it is.
That's crazy. But the thing about Tommy John, and people who don't know, this was named after a great pitcher named Tommy John, who pitched for the Yankees, and was a legendary guy. And he's the first one to have done the surgery, and it turned his career around. And it's since gotten better and better and better. There are guys who will have a better career after
throwing harder,
everything than before.
Sure.
So you got to feel good about this. This is become kind of a routine thing.
Yeah, and I'm at peace with it regardless. But it definitely. I still see a lot of really good things ahead of me because of the success rate. Yeah.
Right. And you when we talked at Mark's party, I asked you a question about what's the time off been like? Has it been a blessing or a curse? Because you literally, probably from the time of Little League to last April, never stopped.
True. I mean, other than COVID, where there was no season for me.
But you're still pitching. You're still working out. You're still throwing.
You're right. No, the answer that I told you that I believe is it was like the biggest blessing of all time. I was able to be with my wife, live in my house, go out and grab a coffee and grab a walk around the neighborhood and go to a holiday party with my neighbors and just like be a human being. And be
you got to go to that party with me.
I got to go to an adult party. It was so cool.
It was a good party. Hey, Mark throws a good party.
He does.
Yeah,
really does.
Hell yeah. That house is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that house is so amazing. So proud of him.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, he freaking built it himself.
Find.
What a fuck. The crack house that he turned around. It was amazing.
You got the right engineers in there because that's a sweet spot.
Beautiful spot. Right on the river. Oh my God. Crazy. Anyway. But so, and you've never really had a chance to stop and kind of reflect.
I haven't. No.
What did you find in your reflection?
It really just, baseball-wise, you talking?
Yeah.
Well, one thing I've discovered is I still don't know what I'm going to do after baseball. So that's And everyone says it's okay, but when I
know,
think about it, I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
it's not okay for me.
Am I going to be going door to door selling things? Like, I don't know.
You could do it.
I do think I want to be a coach. It's never really crossed my mind before. I've never really thought about it, but
you love the game.
I now have this new sense of learning, and I feel like I learned so much about who I am and I saw myself get better, and I just know that applies to everyone. So if I can tap into some people, maybe the way I convey how to play baseball, at least that message of how to play baseball, like would click with people.
Do you have a sense of appreciation for where you got? Because I think that's the other thing you said to me was, I just didn't realize where it was the goal.
I'm in the present, right?
It was the goal. You're in the present, and that's what makes it. That's where we all ought to be. That is my goal, is to be more present, especially with my family and my wife.
Sure.
But the ability for you really to finally kind of look back and see where you got, because you said I never really. Your goal was to get to the major leagues.
I guess, yeah. And when I first got drafted, it was like, okay, I guess that's the next goal. It never was like, I want to grow up and be a baseball player, right?
Right, yeah.
But yeah, that was the goal. And then you get there, and it's like,
now what?
You're on the lowest man on the totem pole, and it's what else are you gonna do? Like,
Survival,
everyone else,
baby.
We all got here too. Now it's time to go win a World Series with us or get off the ship.
That's right.
And it's like,
and we'll wait for the next guy to come up. I
literally just got here,
which is fair. I mean, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is, have you? So one question, I have a lot of questions about leadership and how people get where they are, and goal setting and how they do it.
Okay.
Right. So there's a great story about Emmitt Smith, is the all-time leading rusher in the NFL. And when for the Cowboys, and when he got to his locker, first year of training camp as a rookie, he put in his locker, I will be the all-time leading rusher in the NFL.
What?
And
That's amazing.
He looked at it every day. Now, he's Emmitt Smith. There's some talent and a million things, right? But have you ever been a goal setter? Have you ever kind of said, I want to live into that? I don't know if I'm going to do my part, but I want to at least put into existence, whether I spoke it or wrote it, goals.
No. That's so crazy.
Maybe you have a chance to do that now.
I mean, I think setting goals is important. I think when I've failed in life and in my career, it's taken a where do I actually want to get?
Yeah.
Question. And then I go get it.
Yeah.
And obviously, like when you have your standard and you have, you
may not get there,
but the work ethic combined with, just whatever it goes on in that time that you're trying to achieve that goal, like everything is working towards it, and it's not good days. I mean, you're gonna have good days and bad days, you know what I mean? But it's like it's not overall, just still free. It's just like willy dilly, living in the present, kind of hipster vibes. You know what I mean? It's like no, like bear down and go get what you want.
Right. So do you now think of it just with the time off? Have you now thought, hey, I got to rethink about these, sort of where I want to be and the goals I want to have and that kind of stuff?
Yes, but it's not so much these lofty like goals off in the distance for me. It's more, I like just continuing to dominate what I need to dominate.
Do what you can do.
I need to execute pitches here, and here. I'm studying of just feeling, learning how my body moves. I'm doing a lot with I have hip issues because of my delivery and how I fold over myself, and it's like that could have also contributed to a weakness in my elbow and so much pressure being put on my elbow.
So maybe there's a change you could shift or something you could make to make
totally.
That,
and honestly,
better.
Playing golf, I learned that I just don't I don't rotate as well as I should. So then I started learning how to rotate, and I learned to rotate to my left side, and it's almost impossible. So it's like I had to learn the motion, and I'm like, whoa, that's how you pitch. That's actually what I need to be feeling. So there's all these. I just started learning so much about.
And that time, if you hadn't had that time off,
then you don't get that. You don't get that time to think.
Never have had that chance.
And some people are super into all that, so that's what they study night and day. I just always like I said, I'm just here to have fun, man. Like I'm just playing ball. And now it's more like I'm here to go have success on the field because I know I know what I need to do and who I am, what I need to do on the field. And now I am gaining how to train for that efficiently.
Yeah.
And I feel like speak it into existence. I just feel like I'm going to have a really good career because
I think you are.
I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to feel it, and you know you can do it. So just got to do it, and you've done it before you got here.
I know my stuff is really good, and I can get those outs.
Yeah.
So it's really just, can you consistently do it? And that's what anything is.
Well,
but
consistency.
I feel like I'm getting better.
Favorite ballpark?
Ooh, Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I had gotten to old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
I missed
didn't make
that.
You've been to the new Yankee Stadium?
I have not.
Oh,
but I can. I just can never go to the old one. But I have been to Boston, and I've been to Fenway, and that place is special.
Yeah. So for all those Red Sox fans out there, it's not that I like the Yankees more. I just had a horrible outing as a Mariner in Fenway. And that's my only outing, and I didn't even record an out. So
you pitched well in Yankee Stadium.
I did.
Then if I'm a Boston fan, I'm stoked because they are the arch enemy.
You're right.
I mean,
and they just signed Juan Soto.
So what is Boston? What is it like to play for the Red Sox against the Yankees, home and away? It is not just like baseball. Oh, you haven't had a chance yet?
Not for the Red Sox.
That's right. So you got that coming.
I got that coming. That's where we got to get our mental strength dialed in.
Dude, that's going to be, oh, yeah. I mean, now you got Judge and Soto. What are they going to hit, 3-4? I mean, that's what I'd do.
Whatever, man. I just got to throw
the
ball where I need to throw it.
Who cares? But still, Fenway's a cool
Fenway's
place.
so cool.
Oh, my God.
So I did get to go, and as a player, you get to go under the wall and sign the wall.
No way.
And so that was pretty cool.
Unbelievable.
That was pretty cool.
Wow. I was there one day. I went one game. And I don't know how the hell this happened. I was in New Hampshire on a shoot. I was filming. And we somehow were able to get tickets to the Red Sox game. So we took a freaking school bus in the rain from New Hampshire to Boston to see the Red Sox. And that was like kind of a hell ride there and back. But I didn't care.
I can imagine. Yeah.
It was so cool. And then we get there, and it's raining. And I'm like,
oh,
dude, did I just go all the way here and not get to see a freaking baseball game? Are you kidding me? But we had a rain delay. So there was time, and I got to walk around the stadium and sit in the red seat, in the right field, and Ted Williams and the whole thing. And it was a dump back then, kind of. They probably have fixed it up a little bit. I mean, there were, but it's an old place. It's a smelly old place, kind of.
But it's great.
But it's so great. And do you ever, I don't know, do you ever feel like Babe Ruth pitched right here, man? Do you ever think about that stuff, or do you not care? You're not a fan.
No, I'm a thinker though. Like I'm not like a crazy fan of the game. Like, oh my gosh, Babe Ruth
but
pitched here.
That pitching there and Wrigley,
it's a big deal.
Is a different deal. Gotta be.
No, I definitely am. Whatever the word would be for that.
Appreciative.
Yeah, and just like I think of that, but I haven't really quite been able to do it for Fenway.
Yeah. We haven't been there yet.
Waiting for that, but thanks for putting that in my mind. I'll make sure.
Well, I mean, just soak
do that.
it in.
No,
right?
you got to soak it in. If you don't, then you just kind of miss out on that.
Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio. Played there like all the time.
But then you even go like David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez,
Yastrzemski, and just through the years, it's just
that crazy World Series that came back.
They finally won.
Was that against the Yankees?
Ortiz,
came back down 3.
So you and Nick are about the same age. Mm-hmm. I have a theory that when you're 10, whatever team wins the World Series, that's the team.
That's your squad.
He loves the Red Sox still. He's a Mariner fan, big time. Ichiro is his guy.
Oh yeah.
So who was your guy as a kid growing up?
That's funny.
Who was your favorite player?
Felix. I'd say Felix Hernandez. Yeah. But
did you ever meet him?
I actually played on the same team as him in like spring training. We were both pitching, or I was a backup, but he was pitching.
Yeah.
So no, I never met him. But Ichiro is a fantastic dude.
Okay, tell me the Ichiro story, because I love this guy. He's amazing.
Ichiro's just he's in the Mariners organization. I know, like as some special coach, right?
He still freaking puts the uniform.
Oh well, yeah, and he throws BP, and he can hit BP, and
he's a hell of a
he
pitcher.
actually he will face you in like your live batting practice if you needed reps, if you're coming off an injury.
So you've got to pitch against Ichiro.
You know, I personally haven't.
Okay.
But I know that he is someone that he will do that.
Yeah,
but no, Ichiro, dude, he had these bottles of wine, like 200 made in the world, and I happened to be on the team at the right time, and he is at the end of the year or whatever. And he gave them to me. He gave one to me. He gave one to me, and he knows my name. He came up and said, like, here you are, Wyatt. Like he's someone that knows everyone's name.
Ichiro Suzuki knows your name.
Oh yeah. But that's because he takes the time as a person to know each and every person in the organization. Like that, he's unbelievable.
And so, I mean, and as a kid, watching him play.
Oh, dude.
Remember?
Those are the heydays, man.
Holy cow.
Oh yeah,
I've never
sitting
seen
on my
anything
grandma's
like that.
living room, just
Never seen anything like
watching the perfect game from Felix. Ichiro was obviously one of the best players.
Oh my God! No,
Jamie Moyer, all of them.
The throw, his arm,
so good,
phenomenal,
so good.
Yeah, no, I mean just
cool.
Yeah, just so cool. I know, incredible. I'm just kind of going through. I have a couple things here. You mentioned this when we talked before. More fired up or relaxed when you come to a game? Where is that, and how important is trust in you, in your stuff, and you, and breathing? When I see Paul Sewald,
I don't know if that's breathing for him or if that's just his thing.
I don't know, man, but it's all
breathing is huge.
Yeah, and how happy are you for him?
So happy
Getting to pitch in the World Series.
Well, he's a hard worker.
He came back from the dead.
He cares, man. He cares, and you're right. Like the whole story of the reinvent yourself.
That's got to give you hope, right?
Oh, no,
when
100%.
you hit a wall, you're going to hit some more.
If you got good stuff, people will find you, and you just listen. All you got to do is listen. These people in these roles,
they're trying to help you.
They're trying to help, and they're really smart.
Really smart.
Go see if it works. That's the trust part. It's trust yourself, but also trust that maybe something that you don't feel like you could do or you don't want to do, maybe that is a key to having success against left-handers. Like for me, that was a four-seam up in the zone. Stop throwing sinkers. They're all looking for it and they can hit it. But if you throw that four-seam, nobody's looking there.
Right.
That's Sewald. Nobody's looking there.
Yeah.
And it rides. It's just a good location. So
Kenta Colby and Gene Garber and a lot of these guys, Quisenberry, they pitched a long time.
Yeah.
Is there something about the Submariner that does take less? I mean, I know I'm talking to a guy that has Tommy John surgery, but I mean, is that an easier? Is there something? No, it just depends on that person.
My surgeon said that's a myth. He
said less stress on the arm or whatever.
He said he thinks it's a little more stress.
Okay,
and that's okay.
Really,
yeah.
For you, maybe the way your makeup is,
maybe.
Or something. Maybe it's just you that has. I just kind of always wondered that.
Yeah, but your question about breathing, just to back to that, I'm very relaxed and calm. That's how I am as a person, but that's also how I am as a competitor. Some people might sit here and say, "Geez, you need some anger. You need to get pissed off." I like to be in the zone where I'm calm. Breathing is huge, and that's been huge because mostly kind of ice bath breathing. So I've been learning, like, I get in the ice bath and you just, right?
Colder and
But if you I trained myself, the Mariners were really good at this, getting into the ice bath, and it's just from the get-go, you're telling your central nervous system or whatever to just
relax.
Like, I get in the hot cold tub and it's fine. And that's like getting on the mound, you give up a double, Aaron Judge is up. I'm able to
better there.
I'm able to center my breath because I've trained for that. And I know it might make no sense. It's a cold tub and that's the big leagues, but it
that's
works.
The trigger.
It works. It was part of it. Yeah.
Self-talk. There is a guy named Mark Fidrich.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance
to
look this dude up. He was nuts. He pitched for Detroit.
Okay.
And he came up and they called him the Bird. He kind of looked like a bird. He was like this big, like Larry Bird, sort of like big hair. And he would talk to the baseball.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Dude, before he'd throw it. And he'd talk to himself and he'd get all pissed off. And he literally held a conversation with himself outwardly.
That's amazing.
before he pitched, and the guys were hitting her like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And he became this like character, but he literally was like, I'm just doing what I got to do to talk myself into this. But however you do it, inside or out.
I just give little. I have good self-talk. I'm very positive, like always.
Like, I can do this. Or, here you go, Wyatt.
Just or honestly, like, get the out of here. Like, just
let's go.
Calmly talking to the hitter under my breath with some heat, but like my demeanor is very calm. So I am like,
you are hard to read.
I'm an FU type of guy in my head. Yeah. I'm very hard to read. So
you are hard to read, which is good.
But I try to have. You want to have good presence. I remember my grandma once in minor leagues told me your body language was horrible when she watched me pitch, and I was like, whoa, I don't want my grandma telling me that.
That's really good advice.
So I was like, okay. So that's kind of,
you don't want to give any clue to anybody about anything.
No. If it's your worst day, if it's your best day,
they should not know.
They'll know if it's your best day. But
so do you say to yourself for that, or are you just? Are you I played college golf. I'm a pretty good golfer. Cool. I've had days where everything's working, and I don't even think about swinging. It's like I can't even.
Everything's working on that day.
Yeah. I'm not even aware that I'm even sort of, but that's like one little thing I think about. I've got one little thing, like I just know that if I hit the ball right there,
share that with me.
That's my contact, right? Yeah, I will. But other than that, it is a zone.
Golf and pitching is like
similar,
yin and yang. Does that make sense, or is that
are
the
they
opposite?
Together, or are they the opposite?
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
golf and pitching
are connected.
Is like peanut butter and jelly.
Okay, it's very similar, and so is pool. By the way.
Oh, I like that.
Pool is putting.
What? I need help with that.
All right, Nick's a good pool player, so
okay,
we'll go play some pool. I mean, I got a pool table right here.
Saw that.
Seriously, because it's all pace and speed.
But with pool, yeah. But with golf, it's like you got your mechanics, you got your shot, you got what your target, right? You're looking at the ball, you got whatever, all that's fine and the same. But it's can you have your rhythm? Can you execute your process of what you go up there and do it and execute
consistently.
Execute it.
Can I do this over 18 holes?
It's the same
in 70 strokes.
And
I've done it.
And you struggle and there's failure.
And I've done it twice.
Yeah.
Once under 70.
Wow. Sheesh.
And it's like,
that's fun.
It's so hard to get there though. It's just so.
And every day you show up and something else isn't working.
So that's another question I've had. You're in the bullpen. Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Go to the mound, falls apart. You're horrible in a bullpen. You go out there and it clicks. Does that happen? Is that real?
100% that happens. Yeah.
What is it, Wyatt? Because I've seen guys I'm like, dude, I sucked in the bullpen. I literally got to the mound and it was completely different. Is there something mental. About the walk? Is it I don't know.
No, it's probably not physical. It could be the bullpen mound is way different than the game mound. And
right on.
There's just like a bigger drop, or there's a huge hole. Maybe not in the big leagues, but in the minor leagues, there's a huge hole of where I'm landing in. How am I supposed to be stable? How am I supposed to consistently land and throw a pitch?
Right.
But all that doesn't matter. Like I've been able to pitch a dominant game in horrible conditions or after a horrible warm up. Like I think it's mental.
I think so. Okay.
But
makes sense.
Man, there could be some physical things in there.
You ever do anything of like when you get to the mound? I remember literally watching a game with one of my favorite players ever, Nolan Ryan, who is just, I don't know if you've ever seen Nolan Ryan pitch, but this guy, I mean, you ever see the time where he beat up Ventura, Robin Ventura, just beats the shit, puts him in I just love, phenomenal dude. I've had a chance to film at Nike headquarters in Beaverton, and there's a whole building for baseball building, and Nolan Ryan had a statue made out of stuff they found in his garage.
What?
In the shape of him throwing
That's
a pitch.
Pretty sweet.
Dude.
I got to go see that.
You do. If you ever can get to Nike, I don't know if you're a Nike guy, but...
Sure, yeah.
But go to Nike. Have you ever been there? Are you
No,
a Nike sponsored dude?
No, I'm not big
whatever
enough for that. No.
But if you can get there, in fact, there's a great guy. I will try to connect you, Greg Bowie. I don't know if he's still doing it, but he was the head of merchandising for Nike as Zag.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's probably Zag connections. Yeah,
Greg. I mean, I got his number. I seriously will connect you if you ever get a chance to go.
that'd be cool.
Just go be on that campus because he was such a nice guy. I interviewed him and he's like, hey, it was like this time of year. And he goes, have you get your Christmas presents yet? I'm like, no. He goes, well, we have a Nike store at 75% off.
Whoa.
75%.
That's a lot.
And I'm like, or 50 at least. I'm like, what? He goes, no, really go. Seriously. I'm like, okay. So I go and I'm like texting Nick and I'm like,
what do you need?
FaceTime and this, that. Like, it was so cool of him. But that building, the Tiger Woods, oh my God, his they have replicas of all the major trophies that he won. But Nolan, that whole thing, and I remember watching a game where he stops the game and repairs the mound. Like, I'm not fucking pitching. I'm not doing that. Come on. Or he builds a toe hole or whatever. The guy had pitched before had such a toe hole that he couldn't pitch there. Is that ever something that you're like, shit, the guy who just pitched before me has such a hole there that I can't pitch?
Definitely. The big league
mounds. How
mounds
do you deal with that?
Are
epically
robust.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they fix them.
But they do. And they're just designed to where you land, and like
consistent.
It just doesn't, nothing really changes.
Wow.
But that's also, the weather gets in the way, definitely in the minor leagues, it's a little bit worse. And that's not, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And it freaking sucks. I mean, my left foot's landed in a massive hole. I got to move on the rubber. I got to change something.
I don't see guys going,
I know.
fix this. I'm Nolan goddamn Ryan. I guess you got to be Nolan goddamn Ryan. I don't know. But maybe next time, just go, I'm not pitching. Fix this.
Nolan Ryan earned the right to say
That's
that.
what I think too. I don't think everybody gets to do that.
I need to
Yeah.
tighten my belt, cinch it up, and go pitch.
Yeah. So okay, so I don't want to get you in trouble. Umpires.
Oh.
What is that like? Guy to guy, different dude, different zone. And then there's this whole, we don't need them. I got pitch, whatever that is,
Yeah.
that you literally know where the zone is. You literally know where that is. But I'll tell you, I remember listening to one retired guy, and he's like, okay, I watched the broadcast for the Mariners. And then I watched the broadcast, same broadcast, for the Texas Rangers. And that box was different.
Whoa. That's weird.
So how is it managing that tug, that relationship? Because it is a relationship, right?
I'm not very good at that relationship.
I don't know if anybody is.
Just, you're talking about pitcher to umpire?
Yeah.
I haven't even as much.
Or you just don't even worry about it.
I haven't even as much nodded my cap to an umpire. Like, I have zero relationship with them other than them checking my fingers for sticky stuff after every inning.
What is that like? That's so dumb.
I don't cheat, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But no, I
There's
almost
nothing you can do.
I almost just respect them. Like, they're out here.
Yeah, they are.
They're out here on this crazy stage making these decisions in front of the best players in the world. So I just call what you're gonna call, man. Like, I don't.
Fair to me. I missed.
And that's kind of where I'm at with the automatic strike zone. Like, I want perfection. I really do want. But, like, to me, and it can, whoever's opinion, I don't really care. You can change it, whatever. I like the umpires, man. If they make a wrong call, that's okay.
Hey, you know what I like about baseball? It is pretty much the game Babe Ruth played. It's pretty much the game.
Hasn't changed much.
Ty Cobb played. It's pretty much the game Satchel Paige played. This is the game.
Sure.
They haven't changed the mound. They haven't changed the distance of the bases. Okay, they made the bases a little bigger, whatever. But, I mean, come on. At the end of the day, essentially it's the same. And the umps, it's part of the game. And
I like it.
I would rather, I do too. Like that's the humanness of this.
It's okay. I know.
It's okay. And you know what? They had to deal with it. The ghosts from back in the day had to deal with it, you know? Shoeless Joe Jackson had to freaking deal with an umpire. Why can't Wyatt Mills? I don't know. I mean, I just hate that it would not have them involved. It just seems
So
weird.
you'd be upset if they switched it?
I would be.
Because I played
also,
like that. AAA had that automatic zone. And you could challenge it.
And?
You know? It was fine. You hardly even notice because they just have a little earpiece in or whatever, and they call what it is. So they're still there. But, you know, when people are challenging it and it's like, or maybe that wasn't the earpiece part, but they challenge it and that they're wrong and they get the strike. Like, that makes sense because that's what all the other professional teams or professional leagues
anymore.
Do. Some sort of a challenge.
That's true. And you'd hate to lose a World Series over something that...
You would, but... And that's why there's a good argument for that side. I just, as a player of the game, I
think
don't
balls
care.
and strikes...
Have the umpire call it, you know? Is it a block? Is it a charge? Was it pass interference or not? It's just...
Right. It's just... Come on. It's sports.
I don't know.
It's part of the deal.
Nowadays, they're reviewing all of that anyways, but...
Pitch comm. Different. So people that don't know... You guys have now new technology that lets you talk to the... How does it work?
It really is just there's like a keypad or like a keyboard type thing on like the catcher's knee or wrist or something. And you can program into it whatever you want. So it could literally say, it's like Siri, right? So hopefully our phones don't go off there, but like it... And it's not catered to just me. It's not like, let's get Wyatt's pitch comm. It's just, you could say fastball. You could say four-seam fastball up. You could say two-seam fastball off the plate and in. Or, you know, like you could make it as complex or as simple as you want.
So that signs don't get stolen.
Yeah, I mean, that's just for people not looking in and catching the signs. So it's really just.
So you're hearing...
I'm just hearing it.
So,
I put it in my
Cal
hand.
Raleigh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Puts down, hits. I want a breaking ball. Whatever. I want a slider. Once your slider away, boom, and you hear that.
Slider away. I shake my head and get ready to throw. You know.
Yeah, and
easy. It's real easy.
And Cal's probably going to beat you up if you shake him off. Seems like that guy.
You think does he walk around like he looks like he's mean?
Can't read that guy.
He's so nice.
He seems like he's nice.
No, he's nice. He seems.
I
don't want to call him soft. Like, sorry, Cal, you're not soft.
I wouldn't mess with that guy.
No, he's a big dude.
Dude.
But he's a nice dude.
He's just a good guy.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. Seems like such a great baseball guy.
Not angry ever.
No. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they seem like great. Favorite teammate?
You know, just like. I pitched with a guy named JT Chagua. He was in the bullpen for a little bit with Seattle. He's moved around different teams. You know, more of like a friend.
Yeah.
But like watching like JP Crawford lead the clubhouse and
what is that guy like?
It's hard to describe other than just like he's a cool cat. You know, he's cool. Everything he does is cool.
It is cool.
And in the clubhouse, he runs the music. He's in charge of like the vibe of the team, someone that you enjoy playing with.
Yeah.
But so he's kind of I was
very proud of him this last year.
Yeah.
He really, I don't know, you were working.
You talking tough start and then great finish or what?
Just great year. I mean, he went to Driveline, which is this
Ty
new
France
thing
is there
now.
right now.
Ty France is there right now. I mean, that guy's amazing too.
Super good dude.
But you know, like, hey, I got to get stronger. And I got to work on some stuff. And he came back and had a monster year.
Always trying to get better. And that's why what makes a good leader, right? Not that that's only, but
it matters.
Guys need to continuously be getting better. Like the whole Kaizen, constant improvement, you know?
And you notice when he's doing that because he's one of the leaders, right? If he's not.
I believe it. Yeah, I think he is.
I think he's the leader of that team. I think he's the captain of that. I mean, to me, he seems like the guy everybody follows, and he's just tough, and he
100%
plays all
gamer,
gritty,
incredible talent.
You know, they're always like, oh, you know, Corey Seager's making whatever, and he's only making this, and why didn't you get one of those guys instead of him? And they're like, because he's our guy, man.
He loves Seattle, man.
He loves Seattle, and he's a
found
cool cat.
He's a cool cat,
and his defense is amazing.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The other character on that team I always think is interesting is Perry Hill.
Oh, the coach, yeah.
What is that guy like? He's like 100 years old.
Perry Hill's great. He just he has his little phrases. He yells like "Stop it!" for you're like almost like you're doing great. Behave. Stop it. You're doing so well. But it's just so he's a position player coach. Yeah, like there's not a relationship there. Right.
But
yeah,
he's a character.
He's character. He's not walking too good. I know, but
yeah.
I mean, it's cool. He's been around for a long time, so it's cool to be there with him.
Yeah. Scott Service seems like a good dude too.
Scott Service is a great dude. Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough gig, man.
It's a tough gig. He's done a great job. I mean, him and Jerry have worked night and day to try to get a team on the playoff book, and they did. And I know that there's a lot of heat surrounding the Mariners and all that. I just look at it from a player's perspective, like
they care.
They're doing a good job. They're trying to put the people in the right positions. I mean,
they're not done. They're always working.
They're always working.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they got good players, and they still have
I think
some moves that are going to be made.
I think they're going to make some moves. When you were pitching for the Mariners, you were pitching for a general manager that was a reliever. And a good one, really, pitched quite a while. Does that matter? Does he ever talk to you about pitching and bullpen and what's it like to be a reliever? Or is he just like, I don't ever talk to that guy, or whatever. But I would think that to me, it's like when I found out that Wyatt Mills was pitching in the Mariners organization, they must think you're good because you're not going to get picked by an organization that cares about relief pitching probably more.
Or the Rays, yeah, something like that.
Or the Rays.
Who drafted me as a junior. So, no, you're right.
I mean, you have to go, Rays and Jerry DiPoto see something in me, and they freaking know because he's been there.
Yeah. No, Jerry doesn't talk. Jerry is someone that says, this is your space. This is your team. You're a player. I'm not. And I'm going to give you space and distance. But he always, we're in the cafeteria and he'd just be like, your stuff looked really good last night. Or, he'd throw that out. Or he would say something like your stuff just isn't coming out like it should be. So he'll just drop little comments.
So he's saying something.
But we're not talking pitching.
No.
It's just he's aware. He's watching and he's paying attention.
Oh, hell yeah. And he knows because he was a relief pitcher.
Oh, yeah. No, I know that there's a lot of knowledge
does that matter that you were pitching for a guy that was a relief
pitcher? I think that
pitcher?
matters a lot just for me personally because that's what I do. And he can fill information down the way to get to me through his coaches.
Oh, yeah, I think he's brilliant. I mean, it's almost sometimes too smart for his own good. Like, come on, keep it simple, man. But I don't know all the stuff he's got to deal with.
I don't either.
Nobody does, right? Nobody knows the real truth of any of that stuff ever.
Yeah.
But I've been impressed with how they've handled it and what they've done. And, I've been a Mariner fan since I was 10. So
me too.
The first year they ever existed, I was 10.
Yeah.
So it's and been through all kinds of bad stuff. And I was like, dude, I've seen some bad Mariner teams. This is not a bad Mariner team. I don't care what anybody's saying, dude. You finished 2 games behind.
Expectations are so high. Yeah.
Two games behind the Rangers
who win the World Series,
and you owned them kind of down the stretch. So every team's got its own thing.
But look at the Diamondbacks. They were to me, comparable to the Mariners.
Absolutely.
And they got hot at the right time.
You get hot at the right time.
It could have been the Mariners.
Could have been. You just got to get in.
It's the playoffs.
You just got to get in and see what happens and have fun and all that stuff. Were you part of any of that when they did go? You were not there when they won.
I was on the team during the year that they went to the playoffs.
Okay, so you were a part of it.
I was a part of it.
Absolutely.
Very small part of it.
Yeah,
but I was, and I pitched the 3rd inning when we were down by 7, but. That's a roll,
Absolutely. Innings
save
eater.
the arms. Try
innings
to save
eater,
the arms,
dude. Yeah, you understand
the
whole piece of that. So my last thing I want to a little story about Wrigley. So I got a chance to Nick and I went to the Final Four with the Zags in Indianapolis. I know. Suggs makes the shot. We were there. There was only 8,000 people there because it was COVID. Yeah, I swear to God. So
it's like the McCarthy.
It was phenomenal. And it was a bizarre experience in person because, and I've said this to several people that were there, because really there were only 8,000 people in that game.
That's small.
In a 50,000 seat arena because it was COVID. So when that ball went in, there was a moment, a decipherable moment where not everything stood still. Like it was just
watching it.
Did that go in? Like there was
after it went in.
As it went in, it was the world stood still for a beat, and then oh my God, that went in, and it was fucking pandemonium.
That's crazy.
But I was like, have you ever had any moments where it's just like, I think time stopped here? You probably do as a pitcher, just being in an environment where you're in a game and you're like, wow, this is just, there's something about that. I don't know.
I don't feel like not in the big leagues have I played in a game like that. But even just like the year, I think it was the year before, 2021. That was not the playoff year. 2022 was the playoff.
I think so. Yeah, 2022.
So 2021 we didn't make the playoffs.
Right. With damn close, like a game.
And I was up there at the end of the year, and those games mattered so much. So the sold out crowds.
Okay, and this is,
I think it was against the Angels.
20 years of never making the playoffs. The pressure on you guys.
There was some
worse than the next year.
Serious, just
tension.
That the not maybe the beat stopping, but that was the closest that I feel like I got to where if somebody popped one out and tied the game, that would have happened.
It would have happened,
and that was where the energy was so.
I think Cal Raleigh hit that ball.
Oof,
it did.
Yeah,
same kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, and against the Blue Jays
to get in the tournament, to get in there the first time.
That was cool.
Yeah, to actually make the playoffs, that home run that he had. I mean, he's going to be remembered for that forever.
100%. He should be.
He should be. It's like Edgar's double. Like it's
seriously, yeah. They'll play it back. Yeah,
totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was such an amazing set. But we were there, and you go to the Final Four. There's a day off between the first game and the final. Mm-hmm. So they beat UCLA, and we're already thinking, should we just leave? Like it's already they're going to play a cancellation game. I don't know. Should we just go home early and stuff? And they win it, and then we had a day. So I'm like, hey, the Cubs are playing in Wrigley. Indianapolis is like, it's like a 2-hour drive or 3-hour drive. So we drove to Chicago and went to Wrigley and watched the Cubs play. And Nick got a chance to see Wrigley Field, And I had been to one other game there. And the first time I went, I was in Chicago and I was working. It was just me. I was scouting for a project that we shot in Iowa, and I happened to be on the south side, kind of near there. I flew into south side, and I'm like, the Cubs are playing, and I got nothing going on, and I have nothing for the next day. But it's like from the south side to Wrigley ain't close. No. It's a drive, and I'm like, I'm going to be late, but I'm like, I want to see it anyway. I just want to see Wrigley Field. Like, it's so weird. And Fenway's kind of like that, too. You don't even know it's a baseball field. It looks like a warehouse. You're like, that's it? Like, it's just in the middle of all kinds of other buildings and stuff. So I'm like, so I drive down there, and you see it at night, just like, it's like driving through. It's basically like if you took Wrigley baseball field and dropped it into Browns Edition. It's brownstones and all that.
It's called Wrigleyville, right?
It's Wrigleyville, and it's just, I parked somewhere and you're walking by bars, and it's just so fun. It's just such a cool experience. And I got there, and it was the 7th inning, and I'm like, 7th inning, dude, 2 innings, is that worth it? This guy's like, I got tickets, third seat, third row, and I'm like, dude, he's like, $50 or something like that. I mean, this was 10 years ago, I don't know, and I go, it's the 7th inning. And he goes, $35. I go, deal. And so I take the tickets and I walk in, and I'm just like, just me. I sit down. It is the most magic baseball day of my life. I sit down. I'm in the 3rd row behind the dugout. Lou Piniella, who I loved as a Mariner fan, is managing the Cubs. And I'm watching this game. I get the last beer. They sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I'm like, dude, this is great. The Cubs are losing 4-1. And no, they're winning 4-1. And Cub pitcher goes out, and he gives up 3 runs. He gets shelled, and it's tied.
It happens.
And there's 2 drunk guys in front of me that are funnier than hell, just making jokes the whole time. And there's another drunk guy, totally pissed off. And he's so pissed that this guy's given up 3 runs. He runs to the mound to beat him up. The pitcher, his own pitcher. He's a Cub fan. And he runs to the mound to like tackle the pitcher because he's so drunk and pissed.
Whoa.
And there's a dude sitting right next to Lou at the end of the bench in the Cubs dugout with a batting helmet on, and he's like a linebacker for the Michigan State Spartans or something. He's just and he just goes, and he gets like from me to you. Boom! He just tackles this dude, takes him down. Cops are coming. Everybody's screaming and yelling. It's just nuts. And I'm like, dude, this town has lost for so long. This is before they won.
Yeah.
They are so pissed at their own guys. I've never seen anybody pissed at their own team. It was just nuts. It was pandemonium. I'm like, this is so great. Like, I get to see all this stuff. Like, I just got to the 7th inning. And then at the end, Cubs get up. Soriano hits a double walk-off. Crazy. Man. I'm walking out, it's pandemonium, and this guy's talking to me and goes, that's the greatest Cubs game I've ever seen. I'm just like, I just saw the best 3 innings of a Cubs game, maybe ever.
$35. Sweet.
For $35. So if you ever get in a pinch and you need a big game, I'm your guy. I'll go out.
Send you
if
a
you
text
need a win,
in the bullpen.
I'm like, dude, we need a win tonight.
We need you.
Get on a plane. I'm there for you. I just want you to know if you're ever there. And I'm really seriously thinking about Nick and I coming to see Boston this year.
Oh, please do.
Because he's never been. So if we do, I'm going to let you know. And I got your number. So I'm going to take us. Hey, man, I appreciate you doing this.
Thanks so much, Frank.
That
was a good time.
I really am. I've never talked to a major league pitcher before.
Yeah, I'm sort of like a normal person,
It's only taken me 56 years. You're almost like a normal person. Yeah, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great. MIP Podcast was filmed at the studio of Corner Booth Media. Please sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, and anywhere podcasts can be found. We'd love it if you'd rate, review, and subscribe to help our podcast grow. Be good to yourself and stay interesting.